Okay, part two. I'm sorry. So in September, God, I started the new job in August. And in September, God started dealing with me because now that I'm on a religious campus, now I'm on a religious job. Let me show you how God worked it out. God put me on a job now that's a religious Christian based job. And in that job, He allowed me to be around or to witness or to be a part of or to be in the presence of worship. Y'all, I'm trying to show you how God worked things out. This video is about a testimony from me about how God worked things out. So, we have worship service on Wednesdays at work from 12 to 1. People keep texting me, y'all. I'm sorry. About praise and worship. And so I started listening to different styles of worship music. I've always, and don't get me wrong, you all, I don't know if you all know this about me, but growing up when I was a little girl, I listened to, and I'm not prejudiced, I love all races, but I catered a lot more to white people's music in worship than I did black people's music in worship. Nothing's wrong with black people music and worship. But for some reason, with how God deal with me as a child, He had me listening to Amy Grant. He had me listening to Twyla Parrish. He had me listening to Sandy Patty. He had me listening to people like Michael W. Smith. He had me listening to all of those types of worship because those people, their music was different. So God always had me in a different place of music regarding worship or regarding what I listened to. And at that time, I didn't know I was a worshiper. And at the time when I was growing up, I would come home after school and I would listen to all my CCM music, and I call that all the white people music in their way of worship. Not saying that I didn't like black people music because I sung black people music at church, but for some reason, away from that, my church, I had a whole different style of music that I was into. So when God placed me at the job I'm at now, it's more white people there. And I love it because I get along with white people. I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with, actually, it's all cultures that are at the place that I work at. And so it's branching me out to get involved more with what He originally has started me out with. He started me out with that kind of worship. So just to come on up to where we're at now. And so during the worship service, and I would hear these worship songs and it would just do something to me. And it's just the words of the worship songs and just things that the worship song, just looking at the words, reading the words, singing the words. And God started dealing with me through my job with my praise and worship team. And He started showing me, letting me hear the new sound of worship. I don't know if y'all understand, there's a new level of worship music going on right now. And I'm on a board with it. And I had to learn how, and God said, you gotta have to transition your church into that new level of worship, that new style of worship in order to grasp your congregation. In order to grasp and get to where y'all need to go. And so my other leader, she's my cousin. And it's funny because I hadn't talked to her about any of this. And God started rearing her into the same style of worship music. God started rearing her into the same worship music that I was loving all my life and that I was involved with, but I was scared to try that kind of music at my church because I'm like, okay, y'all know how we do. What? I don't like this. Y'all know how we do because we're set in our ways. But God had to deal with me to get to a place myself in order to know what vision he had for me for this praise and worship team, what vision he had for my church body as a whole, what vision he had for my pastor. And she has a vision for to bring our church to this whole nother level, and I got to coincide with her vision. So God dealt with me a lot. And God said, add people, add new people. I haven't added new people to the praise and worship team in about 4 or 5 years. Because I was waiting for the ones that was up there that don't need to be up there to go. And they wouldn't. God said, add new people to the team. He showed me who to add. It was people that don't even hardly do anything in the church. They're not involved in much in anything at the church. And God showed me those people. And by him showing me those people, they started as of October. God said, go ahead and get your rehearsal in. Got my rehearsal in. Got those people active. Beautiful voices. They're not confident, but I told them I'm going to help you with that. Because I'm going to pull out in them what I hear and what I see in them. And what I told them at that October rehearsal, I said, God has told me my job. And in that time that I won't have rehearsal, God ministered to me and told me, you've been doing this for a long time. Your job is to train these people. God told me to train these people. And that's what I'm doing. One girl, we have a problem with her dressing like she's going to the club. But ever since I got her under my wings, and I had just a nice old talk with her, she don't get on my praise and worship team with no skirts all the way up there. She have them knee length. She looks beautiful. Have on her makeup, her earrings. She looks nice. Looks very beautiful. All because I'm loving her and I'm taking her under my wings and letting her know that you are beautiful. You don't have to show everything. You don't have to wear tight clothes. You are beautiful. God said to train them. He said to train them. And that's what I'm doing. I am training right now. So, let me get up to where I'm at today. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Glory to your name, God. I've been praying for years that my church become multicultural. You know, people, not just black people, but all people. Because my churches have that feeling, but we just don't have those people there. We have a lot of million black people, but but God always showed me that ours was going to go forth farther than that. So the Lord dealt with me last week, because even though I had gotten the praise and worship team to where they needed to go, there was still a piece of the puzzle missing. My musicians. They were tired. They were bored. God had us change the style of our music. Our music is changed now. My musicians are interested. They're excited. They're like, what are we going to learn next? They were bored with just regular old just music. And all it took was us to change into a new style that they never had entered in. And so last week, it was heavy on my spirit. And on my Tuesday night, 9 o'clock worship that I have at home, my prayer and worship time, they were heavy on my spirit, and I just kept praying to him. I was crying out to the Lord. Lord, help these musicians. Lord, get them up to the place where they need to go. I prayed so hard that night. I said, Lord, please. I give them to you. I give every one of those musicians to you, and I need you to change them. I need you to transform them and transform their mind into where we need to go. The Lord told me they have to stop being scared. They have to work their gift as I have given it to them. They have to work their gift the way that it should be worked, adding in their gift to whatever they learn, and stop being scared. I said, okay. I didn't know if I was going to tell them that or not. I called the rehearsal for Friday night for musicians for a rehearsal Saturday. That's what I've been doing all weekend. I've been in rehearsals and busy at church. Friday night we had our rehearsal, musicians. And the Lord sent in a foreign exchange student that is here for a year, that's staying with one of our church members' mother. You all, he's from Brazil. This boy is from Brazil. And he plays the acoustic guitar. Now, if you know anything about worship, you can have your keyboard, you can have your drums, you can have your bass guitar, but something about that acoustic guitar for a worshiper takes you to another whole level. Let me give you an example. Israel Houghton plays that acoustic. Look how wonderful his worship ministry is. All because an acoustic guitar. And my uncle have acoustic, but he don't know how to play it like I needed to be done. So this boy comes here. He's from Brazil, and not only that, he picks up music just like that. All he want to know is what key is in. Picks it up and takes us to another whole level. Everybody is now excited. It's newness. Everybody is now excited because this boy is going to help. I believe in my spirit, and I'm speaking it into the atmosphere. I declare and I decree it even right now. This one boy from Brazil is going to bring a whole lot of interracial people into our church. It's going to bring a whole bunch of multicultural people into my church. And I just believe that it's going to be because of this boy. He's awesome, y'all. This guy, he's good. He's good. So this is just a testimony that if your praise team right now is in a dungeon, believe me, I understand. I've been there for the last couple of years, and I was frustrated, and I was ready to give them up, and I was like, they won't let me give this up, and I'm still got to do this. But God has sent a rain of a fresh spirit into this ministry, and I'm excited. And ever since the things started changing, that devil been already out already, but it's gonna be all right because he can't have but so much power. So God, that let me know right there what we're doing now is what God want me to do. And I ain't worried about people. I'm not worried about making people love me and making people like me and making people on my side. I ain't even worried about that because I'm following God. Part 3 coming.